No matter which part of America you call home, the reputation of golf in northern Michigan is known far and wide. Hi, I'm Bill Hobson, and we're privileged on today's program to be visiting one of those golf destinations that appears on a lot of bucket lists. It's a place that will take you back to the roots of the game. It'll challenge you in every way possible, and it'll give you plenty of opportunities to break out the camera. Because with scenes like this multiplied over and over again, there's no other place in the Midwest, or perhaps America, like Arcadia Bluffs.
This is Michigan Golf Live Television. Welcome to the Midwest's leading golf program, shining the spotlight on the top places to play, stay, relax, and enjoy the greatest game on earth. Be sure to find and like Michigan Golf Live on Facebook for details on today's featured destination and your chance to win fantastic prizes. MGL-TV is brought to you by TaylorMade, home of the #1 drivers in golf. Golfsmith, your home for everything in golf. The Golf Association of Michigan. Get in the GAM and play golf for less. And by Traverse City, Michigan's Gulf Coast. Here's the host of MGL-TV, Bill Hobson.
What is the Arcadia Bluffs experience?
Well, Bill, I think the Arcadia Bluffs experience is what you see when you look around the grounds here. It is being greeted by a friendly smile and a friendly staff member, and all the way through you're treated with respect, and we're glad that you're here. And in addition to that, you get to spend 4.5, 5 hours on this beautiful piece of property.
Even from the moment you enter the property, the sign at the road, and you see sod-faced bunkers that aren't really in play. They're just there to kind of catch your attention on your way in, aren't they?
And they do, yeah, there's no doubt about that. And people come in and it's unlike anything that you see, I'm not gonna say anywhere in the country, but you know, one of the top 5 in the country, just because of the uniqueness of the property and the uniqueness of the golf course, and certainly the sod wall bunkers play a big part of that.
Well, let's talk about that top 5 in the country thought. The rankings fluctuate a little bit year to year, but Arcadia is always in the mix.
Yeah, we've been fortunate to be in the top 10 in the nation of the top 100 courses you can play, the Golf Digest rankings, and then also in the top 100 Golf Magazine as well. That's something that we take very seriously, and we've been fortunate because you don't lobby for that. Obviously, we're selected for that by the raters that are here, and the more raters come, the better chance we have to keep that ranking of the top 10, because 1 through 9 are a pretty stout list. So we're honored to be in that top 10.
You know, it's interesting because that 1 through 10 list almost is filled almost with golf courses that are 2 and 3 and sometimes 4 times as expensive as Arcadia. And so, yes, upscale destination here, but in the context, a really, really wonderful value.
Oh, there's no doubt about that, and we're very sensitive to that as we look at our pricing from year to year. We want this to be a great value.
You could host any event pretty much at any time here, couldn't you?
Well, we like to think so. Mike Nielsen's our golf course superintendent, and through Paul Emling's guidance over the years, he's done a great job, and he's taken it over as of last year. And we hear that a lot again from guests come in and say, you know, best conditions they've played, whether it's public or private. And that's something that we take very seriously, because we realize, you know, to keep the value where it is, the conditions have to be perfect. So congratulations to Mike and his staff.
When you get to the first tee, it's probably a good idea to prepare yourself to score well in the first, let's say, 2 or 3 holes, because it's a friendlier start to a golf course than it is finish. This course gets you off to a nice start, number 1, little par 5 with a bend to the right.
Yeah, it has a nice start to it, as do most of the holes. Number 1 is a very generous driving area, and when you get out there, you have a very generous landing area. But then, as is the case with most of the holes here, the real fun begins once you get about 50 yards from the green, and that's the defense that the golf course has, and certainly number 1 with that big sidewall bunker in the front of the green.
Second hole is a good example of what we're talking about, where your tee shot may find the green, but it really needs to find the right level of the green.
Yeah, several of the greens here have that slope effect to them, and that's something else that people aren't used to seeing. And if you're going up the hill, you have a chance, but if you're coming down the hill, you really need to think about what you're doing. But that is a big green, and it's definitely playable, but what you hear a lot is, boy, the next time I play here, I'll know I'll do this.
When you stand on number 3 tee, it looks as if the hole may end in Wisconsin. It does stay here in Michigan, correct?
That does stay in Michigan, on the Michigan side, and that tee being the highest point of the entire property, and an additional 225 feet approximately above the bluff line, which is another 160 feet. So you are up in the air there, and it's just such a beautiful panoramic view. And the way the bunkers, go across the fairway there and kind of frame the hole in, it's a pretty nice spot.
Number 4, a fun green sits down in a bit of a bowl. I'd like to think you couldn't possibly miss it, but I managed to.
You can miss that green, and generally, if you catch any part of the green, the ball will funnel back toward the center, not necessarily toward the hole location, but it will generally funnel back towards, but it can get hung up in that grass because there's no fringes as it used to be. And so if you're left to chip or pitch into that green, it's a tough one. Of course, we have the big coffin bunker to the right, that deep bunker, greenside bunker, which can wreak havoc if you get in it.
There are some shots at Arcadia Bluffs that are more intimidating visually than others. When we get to number 5, you have a generous landing area for the tee shot. Now you got some strategy to kick in here on that second shot, because you're not going to get home in 2. Don't even try. It's not worth it. In fact, I think there's a sign telling you not to try. The bullheaded will still pull out a 3-wood, but there's something about what it looks like to the eye on that second shot. It looks like you're hitting into an impossible scenario.
Yeah, number 5 is a good example where the GPS, if you haven't been here before, where the GPS that's on every golf cart will assist you, because it will show you what's beyond that you can't see. There's that corner bunker that's approximately 160 yards out from the green, and there's plenty of fairway on the other side of it. And if you don't happen to see that aiming post that's on the far side of the fairway, if you check your GPS, you'll be able to have an idea where to lay up. And if you lay up properly, the third shot in is not as daunting.
One of the factors and features here at Arcadia, the constant breeze, sometimes stronger than others. As we go to number 6, and we play that par 3 up the hill, you have just come the opposite direction. Now you're turning around, and you kind of get to work with a mid-iron depending on the breeze.
There's no doubt about it, and being uphill, you definitely want to take enough club there because you don't see too many people long on that green or on that hole. Most people come up a little bit short, but the fact that you're turning around and going the opposite direction is certainly a credit to the architecture, and what Warren created here is that he used all facets of nature, and you have to deal with it. Sometimes you're downhill, you're uphill, you're into the wind, you're back of the wind, and generally that's one hole to the next.
When we move to number 7, it is adjacent to the tee box for number 15, and I have seen some of my friends over the years confuse which fairway to hit to, and I know they're not the first ones. So the first lesson on 7 is hit it to the right hole. After that, you need to hit it accurately. Yeah,
7 is just, I think, an example of a good old-style long par 4. You get to the older courses overseas and in the States certainly, where you have the shorter par 5s, but the par 4s are long. There's 1 or 2 long par 4s on either 9, and certainly 7 is one of those. But again, if you strategically play your cards right, if you go down the left side as is on the GPS, you can get some extra roll because there is a bit of a landing area there that will propel your ball forward towards the green. And then on the second shot, there's no bunkers bordering the front of the green. They're off to the side, so you have a pretty wide open run up at it if you'd like.
I love number 8. I think it's one of the most challenging strategic holes that I've played in all my days of golf. The tee shot, you can hit it into a super wide fairway, but you better pick the right part of it so you have a short iron in your hands to a very elevated green.
Yeah, it is a great hole for those reasons, but it can also jump up and bite you if you fall asleep on the tee shot, because it is definitely wide open, nice wide fairway, but those 2 bunkers left and right are just happen to be placed right about in the drive zone for the average player. So you want to stay focused and make sure you hit the fairway there, and then again another uphill shot, take enough club so when you get up there you have a good chance of birdie.
When we get to number 9, a fun par 3 plays a bit downhill to round out the front 9, and we've also learned that being short on number 9 is a problem because the ball is coming back down, and then if your second shot is short, you're going to get a fun chance at a third shot, probably from the same spot.
There's no doubt about it. And the interesting thing about that hole that a lot of people don't realize is the elevation change from the tee box to the green is only about 12 feet. The perception is that it's dramatic, but it's not much. But having said that, if you're not past the first third of the green, there's a good chance you will be chipping on your second shot.
You never know who you'll run into at Arcadia. Who knew Chris Draper would be here with some of his fellow wings? Why do you like this place?
Take a look. Beautiful. I've been coming up here. This is always a stop for sure. This is my second time up here already. You know, for the training camp. It's a little different now. You said Red Wings. We're former Red Wings. I have to correct you on that now.
You're always a wing. Once you're in, you're always in.
So this is, you know, we came up this morning, drove up, beautiful day. We're basically going to tee off around 1:10 and play till it's dark. So we'll play as many holes as we can, and it's, you know, it's always, they're so great to us when we come up here, and it's always, it's a special day, special golf course, and we always enjoy ourselves.
Well, it was really nice of you to invite me to come play with you guys. So we're ready to go?
Yeah, we got a 1 o'clock tee time, but I hate to break it to you, we already got 4. So,
what's
you want to carry my bags? Do you caddy? Do you
I
caddy?
thought
Do you
we were
caddy or
best
just
buds.
host a show?
I thought we were best buds.
Well, yeah,
we go way back.
You can't just jump in and play with our 4. It's a pretty exclusive group, but
yeah.
If you want to, you could probably double loop, right? Carry mine and Ozzy's bag.
Yes.
We tip well. Won't be bad.
Got it. Put them on.
All right.
Since the day Arcadia Bluffs first opened, it has been known as one of America's top golf destinations, and rightfully so. I mean, look at the place. It's amazing. And now you have the opportunity to come and play, dine, and stay the night to do it all over again, thanks to the new Lodge at Arcadia Bluffs.
The Lodge has changed the story of Arcadia. You know, the story is being written every day. But last year when we opened the doors to that Lodge, it just changed the whole dynamic of the Arcadia experience, because now as a Lodge guest you get to experience the hospitality, the world-class hospitality that we have on all levels, and you're treated as if you're a guest in our home. And that certainly changed the dynamic, and it added to the whole experience in the sense that for us it provides more rounds of golf, it provides more dining opportunities, and it really just made us, to sum it up, it made us more of a destination type facility.
No longer do you have to come play 18, grab dinner, and then leave.
Yeah.
You can stick around.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we're finding a high percentage of our Lodge guests do. They're here for multiple days. And we're seeing couples, we're seeing groups of guys, we're seeing large groups of couples, 2, 4, 6, 8 couples traveling in a pack. And we're generally, as we've always been, we are part of a trip for them. We're either at the tail end or the beginning of a Michigan swing. But we're quickly becoming their main stop, and now they're starting to build their trips around us, which is just fantastic.
When you have a chance to go out on your balcony and take in the sunset views, or just the beautiful, you can see the fescue waving from hundreds of yards away, I got to think sticking around for a few days is a pretty popular notion.
Yeah, we like I said, we get a lot of that, and people are already booking for next year, which again speaks volumes to what we're providing for them. And we're very fortunate to be here. And we take it all very seriously, and as I mentioned earlier, it is the complete hospitality experience that we're looking for. We're a hospitality destination that just happens to provide golf, dining, lodging, and merchandise.
For those guests who are staying upstairs, for those who live in the area, or for those who just want a really good dinner, the downstairs part of the clubhouse has a fairly nice surprise waiting a lot of people. That restaurant is fantastic.
It has, and the restaurant has gotten better with time. We have some great chefs in the back of the house now. We've always had good people up front, but now with the new layout, with the open bar that we have and the great wine display, it really has added to the great experience that we provide.
Locally grown products often used on your menu too. I love that part.
Yeah, a high percentage of that now, and that's grown more each year. It really has. Scott Verstraete, our food and beverage director, has really tapped into that local market, and of course now we have our own, farm to table menu daily, which is fantastic, and the guests really like that. They see that, and you can definitely, as you know, you can taste it.
I've told people time and time again, if you time it right, you come to Arcadia, you finish your round of golf around dinner time, eat out on the patio, and then wait for the bagpiper to come out and play. There's no better place in America as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and we hear that a lot, and it's true. It's just it's a great setting, and when that sun goes down and he's playing his pipes, and they just kind of, it's almost like they just kind of wander outside, like there's a magnet pulling them out there, and then the sun goes down and they turn around and walk in and sit back down and finish dinner like nothing ever happened.
Perhaps the best known former Red Wing in my immediate presence is Chris Osgood. How are you?
Good, good. That's a new title I haven't heard yet, so that's something new.
Once a wing, always a wing. It never goes away.
I hope so.
You just have more time.
I thought I did, but I don't. We've been doing a lot of work up here, scouting young guys and trying to find the guys that are going to be the next Red Wings and keep us good for a long time.
I've been kind of thinking about maybe trying my hand at being a Red Wing. Do I have, at least from the first appearance,
I'm looking,
do I have
the
it?
size. You
Yeah?
have the size. We just talked about you work out at Lifetime in Novi, so obviously I'm looking at you right now. There's some potential there.
What role might I have? I mean, I'm not fast, I'm not very athletic, and I can't
I think
skate.
we're gonna have to throw you on the fourth line then.
Okay.
Play you with two fast forwards, guys kind of like Draper and Maltby were, and let them do the work, and you kind of work on the sides.
What do you like about Arcadia? Why are you here?
The views, first of all, and I always said I played a lot of golf in western British Columbia. It's in the Rocky Mountain stuff. This is my favorite course. I've been to Bandon Dunes. Reminds me a lot of Bandon Dunes, and just when people ask me about Arcadia, I said the best thing is it's a fun course to play. It's a lot of fun.
Drapes has offered to make me the caddy for your group, so I guess I'm bagging 3 bags at least, maybe 4. So I'll see you all around the
Is that the test? Is that the test? If you can bag 3 bags, you have a tryout next year.
If you can bag 3 bags around this course, you're an Iron Man.
Yes, you are.
Let's talk more golf here at Arcadia. We'll make the turn, head out to number 10, where we begin a stretch of holes that demand not only accuracy, but that you have your digital camera in your cart with you. Just beautiful.
Yeah, holes number 10, 11, and 12 have been the cause of slow play on many a days at Arcadia because of that. So we try to keep it moving through there, but the difficulty in those 3 holes is certainly there. And starting with number 10 with that semi-blind tee shot, you know, we have the aiming post up there, but the trick there is you're looking at the fairway and the aiming post isn't in the fairway. It's 30 yards to the right of the fairway. So for those of you watching, I would say trust the aiming post on hole number 10 and you'll have a beautifully wide open second shot into the green on 10.
You don't want to pull that second shot to the left. One of the most imposing sod-faced bunkers in all of golf waits for you there if you pull it.
That is a deep bunker. It's the only bunker on the hole, but it's certainly, once again, it's positioned perfectly. And so when you're standing on your second shot, you want to look to the right. You want to avoid the left at all costs.
I got to tell you, number 11 is probably my favorite hole in the state of Michigan. It feeds down the canyon, feeds to the water. There's a demand on each shot.
The way that hole just kind of feeds down into Lake Michigan is just breathtaking. But the best part of hole number 11 is when you're done with the hole, is just turn around and look to the east and look back up the fairway and back up toward the lodge, because that view is just as spectacular as the one that's over your shoulder.
We're standing on 12T. It plays alongside what some people probably wonder if it's the ocean. Not quite, but I think I saw a whale jump earlier. Again, this is one where the camera comes out, but you don't want to break out your duck hook at this point.
No, you want to look right here as well as on hole number 10. And again, it's one of those holes where you can see the fairway in front of you, but you'd not necessarily want to hit it there. If you aim a little bit to the left of where you see fairway and take it over the bunker, if the wind's helping you or calm, you should be able to clear that no problem. If there's a headwind, then you want to hit it where you can see the fairway. And the second shot, always safest to play a little bit short and to the right and let the contour bounce the ball to the left and right up on the front of the green.
To me, the back nine here has 3 tee shots that I would describe as intimidating or imposing. 13 is one of them. It's hard to pick a target.
It is hard to pick a target because it's all carry. But the other thing about 13 is to keep in mind is that the carry is really only about 175 yards. That ravine is deep, and it certainly is daunting, but keep that number in mind when you're playing here. Hit it towards the front of the green and the ball will release. And that's one of the greens that we've modified over the years, where we've softened it a little bit. We raised the back slightly recently, so the balls will stay on the green more, which makes it certainly more playable.
That ravine, though, it just grabs your eye, and you're thinking, if I hit it down there, it's a goner.
There are a few balls. I think we found some Hobson balls down there, too.
They have MGL logo on them.
We found those,
They're
yes.
unmistakable.
We have them, yes.
Number 14 is another one of those imposing tee shots, not because of the length of the hole, it's relatively short, but where do you put it?
Well, that's a strategic hole, and it's a little bit unlike the other holes here because the fairway all of a sudden isn't 100 yards wide as it is on number 1. It's more like 30 yards wide, so now all of a sudden you need to be very specific with your tee shot, and you're rewarded if you find the fairway with a relatively short iron into that green, which is uphill again, and we've got that little fronting bunker, that little pop bunker in the front that you want to avoid as well.
15, a bit of an uphill par 5, and I think the fun begins with your approach. If the hole location is far left, as I believe it was today, you don't want to go left.
No, you don't, and again, it's all in the setup on that hole. Hit a good tee shot, center, right center, play up the right-hand side, avoid that bunker that's in the fairway approximately 100 yards short of the green, and then give yourself plenty to work with coming in from the right side if you can. You can come up the left side as well, but then you'll have to deal with those the facing native bunkers, or the fronting native bunkers that protect the front left of the green.
So you've got a good round going to this point. Now all you've got to do is par your way in at 16, 17, and 18, and you get up to the tee box at 16, which is near the clubhouse where you may have an audience watching. Again, a tee shot that you need to hit a little bit differently than your eye would tell you.
I think so. There's plenty of room to the right that you may not see, and if you're on the right side, that leaves you the whole left side to bring it in from left to right. And when people come into the golf shop and say, what can you tell me about the golf course? The first thing generally what we tell them in the golf shop is avoid the right side of hole number 16. Because
which is where I was.
Yes, because that bunker stretches for about 100 yards. And if you go down in there, although it's very calm and you're protected from the wind and it's nice and sunny, you can't see anything. So you definitely want to stay up on the left side on your approach to that, and it will feed back to the right if you play it on the left side. Again, the way Warren contoured that hole, it allows you to roll into it properly if you play up the left-hand side.
The list of intimidating tee shots that I mentioned on the back 9 includes number 17. There are few par 3s that I've ever been on that have my knees knocking as much as that one, because the miss to the right is death.
Yeah, right is bad there, but the nice thing about that is you can see that.
Yep.
There's nothing blind about it. It's right there in front of you. And it's funny, getting back to the bunkers, when people come in and they say, oh, those bunkers, and generally they follow it up with, but I was standing there looking right at it. None of them are hidden, and that's certainly the case with your tee shot on 17.
All right, we're heading to the home hole. We're going uphill after a downhill tee shot. Most likely going to have some friends of yours surrounding the backside of that green, adding some pressure to whatever match you have going.
Yeah, and most of your friends have been partaking for a few hours, so there's usually some hooting and hollering going on, but it's all in good fun. But yeah, we've been known to have some galleries there, but that second shot on 18, assuming you've positioned yourself well off the tee, and if you can take it to the left off the tee, you've got just like Ballybunion, you've got a beautiful view right through the shot there or through the valley at hole number 18 of the green, and it's all right there in front of you. Just take enough club to get up.
This is a special place, and some fun folks come out to play Arcadia. Kirk Maltby, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. This is good stuff. What do you think about when you think of Arcadia?
Just beautiful. I mean, obviously today we have a beautiful day. The golf might not be so pretty, but we're gonna have a lot of fun, and it's extremely challenging, but it's definitely worth the effort of coming out here.
Do any of the guys from the world of hockey have anything close to a Happy Gilmore swing at a tee box?
You know what, I've golfed with Chelly a few times. That might be about the closest, but fortunately for us hockey players, golf is summer and hockey's winter, so we get a lot of time in the summer to play. So you get an opportunity to go out and play a lot, and obviously coming up here for training camp, we get the chance to come to places like this, but most of the guys can get around pretty decent.
I asked Draper earlier if I could play with you guys, and he said that I was welcome to carry all of your bags. So if you have one, just throw it on.
Absolutely. My bag's pretty heavy, though. I got a lot of golf balls in there, so I wouldn't do that to you.
Bring it on.
Tip you very well. One of the two.
Bring it on. When you visit one of America's top 10 golf destinations, there are certain expectations that come with the trip. Of course, you want a great golf course, one that challenges you throughout. Maybe it offers you a few scenic vistas, places to pull out the camera. You want a place that will make your buddies jealous so you can talk about it for years to come. And above all else, you want to visit a place that has you dying to get back there. I'm happy to report that on all counts, Arcadia Bluffs is at the top of the list. Make sure that your bucket list includes a visit to this special place. And if you time it just right and finish your round at about sunset, have dinner on the patio, you may even hear some familiar sounds wafting across the waves as your visit to Arcadia ends in a most memorable, special way. It's going to be a long day.